Weird Realities explores the paranormal, preternatural, and supernatural worlds that surround us. Here we delve into those topics that challenge us to think outside the limitations of realism, where we test the boundaries of imagination and are forced to think outside the confines and restrictions of what is normal. We are the creators, the writers, the artists, and the insane. Welcome to our Weird Realities.
Happy Thursday, people.
Hey.
Howdy.
Hello. It's hard to believe it's already Thursday. We were just talking about this.
Thank God.
How's everybody doing out there tonight? How's everybody here? Scott, Hadley? How you
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
We're missing Rich tonight. He had something come up. He was going to try to get on. Hopefully, maybe he'll be able to get on later in the show. So you want to do his
The FBI releases him in time.
Yeah, right.
We got some of our favorite people out here already. I see we got Miss Chassie and we got Miss Landa.
Hey, Chassie.
Chassie,
hey,
Landa, how
nice
are
to see you too? Oh, I know we have more out there. Yeah. Everybody else that's listening. Hi. Oh, Tony.
There's Tony.
Tony.
Good to see you too, Tony.
If my sister remembered to hook you up, hi, Ma.
So tonight we're going to do what is that blood in the water? Is that how
is that blood in the water?
Is that blood in the water? Let me take my toe and dip it in there and see.
Yeah.
Right? Let's taste it. See if
it's not blood in the water. Send the kids in.
You go first. There we go.
This was a fun week.
It was. We've got some really fun summer movies. I enjoyed all of them. So, and that's a first, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. So what movies do we have tonight?
We've got Lake Placid, The Meg, 47 Meters Down, Uncaged, and my favorite, Hemorrhoids from the Deep. Because I remember seeing that when it was on HBO and as a child, and that's what I called it. Which I think I have all kind of issues left over from that. But we'll talk about that the further we get into it. Hey, David.
Hi, David.
Hey, David. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that was a movie I saw, I think, when I was 17, I think.
I've got so many issues from that. And Alan, you brought it all back this week.
Oh, glad. Thank you. You're so welcome.
You're paying the therapy.
Hey, Mr. Lee Edwards.
Hi, Lee.
Well, do we want to start, or is there anything anybody has to say to begin the show, or should we start?
I say ladies first.
Well,
I picked 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. And this movie, I think it came out in 2019. This was a follow-up to 47 Meters Down, which I'd seen. I love shark movies. So I wanted to pick a shark movie that I'd want to see with some big scare sequences. And I'll have to say, I dropped the remote one time. I jumped. It had a jump scare. And the remote hit Boo. Boo jumped. The dog. Everybody jumped in the house. So it had a couple of really good scare scenes, I thought. Just kind of unexpected, which is what I was looking for. The pacing, the dialogue, the storyline, it all kind of sucked. So if you just want to see sharks, it was pretty good. But if you expected anything more than to see sharks, sorry. I'm so sorry. Because it actually got to the point where I was like, oh, no, they didn't. And they did. Which I know y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Is really, this is glass bottom boat. But I'm not going to ruin it for anyone because it is coming up on the official Shark Week. And I know that some of y'all might be like me and just want to watch some shark movies. Look at Scott.
Sharknado. That's you want to watch.
What do you think of this one, Scott?
Very rarely do I want to shut.
That's what you
obviously
get.
Now he did.
Get for me. I think about my movie, Scott. I will say that I wouldn't even give this a 2. I mean, unless you strictly for the FX. It's the only reason to watch it.
National Geographic just cut me off because I'm bad mouthing sharks. I mean, it started okay. My biggest disappointment was that bitchy blonde girl at the beginning didn't get eaten, but
I know.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about.
But the
mean girl.
Yeah,
I mean, she was a mean girl.
She was a witch. But it was like, okay, so these 4 teenage girls decide to go underwater. They're in Mexico. All of their high school friends are going on a glass bottom boat tour off the coast to see sharks. And these girls don't want to be with the mean girls. So they go into this underground Mayan village to see what's going on. That was the highlight of the movie. They went in the water. I don't know how many times, gee, there's an opening. Let me go right up and look at it. Ah, the shark attacked me. It was like about the 5th time it was like, you're stupid. The girls wore the same outfits. They were wearing the mask. I had no idea which one was which. If somebody got neat and was like, okay, which one was that? Yeah, I'm not going to bother rewinding it. Great survival scenes, like when they're breathing air out of these tiny little crevices in the ceiling, you know. The white blind-eyed shark, that one was just, that was really cool. Don't make any noise. They see him, they all scream, ah! I'm like, really? I mean, I would be like punching the one beside me to get her to scream and let her get eaten. But
hey, Laura. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Hi, everybody. But from a writer's perspective, they escape. They come up to the surface. There's the shark boat. So they're swimming to the shark boat. And I'm thinking, oh, yes. The white, no-eyed shark is going to get them. No, they get attacked by 2 other completely different sharks.
Because they're chumming the water for the shark boat.
That's like watching the Avengers and, like, you know, at the very end, Thanos is like, yeah, I'm going to go away. I'm going to bring in another bad guy for you guys to fight for the last 5 minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Well, maybe those were the blind sharks, the white sharks' caregivers. They're hanging out.
They were their palliative caregivers.
Yes. Oh, and of course, the one girl gets bit by the shark and dragged under, but she can still swim to the surface and climb up the boat.
Well, there were so many bad choices in this movie.
I'm just like, I'm watching this movie thinking, okay, me, Hadley, Alan, and Rich, after a drinking binge, could have wrote, directed, and produced a better movie.
Yes, but now I know if you and I are attacked by a shark, you're going to punch me if I scream like a little girl. So I'm not going to be around you during a shark attack.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jennifer.
And thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, there you go, Scott. Hey, did you know Stallone's daughter was in this?
I thought that was her. Yeah.
That was a, you know.
Which one was she?
One of the girls.
I don't narrowed it down to 4.
Yeah, one of the 4. I can't remember.
Wasn't she one of the sisters?
No, I don't think so. I could be wrong, but yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah.
Hi, Nyoka.
Hey, Nyoka. Yeah, this movie was just a crap fest. It had some good shark things in it, but
it had some really good imagery. I loved it when they were in the dark with the red light.
Yeah.
No,
the red light district shark. Yes, I love that.
Too many dark scenes. I forgot that.
Well, yeah. Well, that's easy. You hide your effects in that, right?
Yeah.
It was a crap fest. And sorry, Hadley, but this is the least of the 4 of these that
I'm not even gonna defend it. It was funny. I mean, like I said, it didn't really have a good storyline. It was better than 47 meters down, but I'd like to see the sharks. That's the whole reason I was on board with it. I watched it. It did give me the jump scares. I wasn't disappointed. It delivered. You know, I would have liked a more solid storyline, but like I said, there was it was just a series of very bad choices made by people who weren't drinking beer. It was.
Well, the writers are probably drinking. They probably, hey, let's put this in, and then let's have this scene, and let's have this scene.
Well,
But they
they
don't make
didn't
sense.
wear
But so
flippers. I was like,
what?
why aren't they wearing flippers? It was never explained why they weren't
Right.
wearing flippers.
Well, they probably couldn't afford.
And
We need the
everyone,
CGI for the sharks, so we can't afford to use
and
flippers.
everyone who showed up that wasn't one of the 4 girls died.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It was like you might as well have just given them a red shirt and sent them down.
But
or red flippers.
I will say it made me very nervous when they were in that. I guess like it's kind of like makes me think of a sinkhole, but there was really no way in and out of it. I was like, that's just a bad idea right there.
Yeah. What are they?
know?
C notes? Is that what they were in? C notes? I can't
Was
remember.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that made me nervous because there was no way out.
Well, when the 2 girls were trying to
They were what? See, Scott must be underwater. What were the 2 girls
I'm
doing?
not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When there's a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, there was.
It's, can you act? No, but I can do this. I can move my hands like I'm drowning and being attacked by a shark. Okay, you're hired. No, I expected a little more from this movie because 47 meters down, the first one was okay. Wasn't horrible.
Well, this
I wouldn't
wasn't
watch it
horrible.
again.
Well, no. Well, if it was on, I probably would, just because. I like shark movies, but
they could have had sock puppets play the shark. At least you'd see them. I hate when you cannot see the monsters. The original Hulk movie with Eric Bana, that sucked because you couldn't see the Hulk doing his thing. His Hulk things. So dark.
Yeah, I mean,
plus it was a sucky movie anyway.
If you're going to be cheap enough to cover your crappy special effects by filming it all at night, I don't want to see the movie.
Right? Why didn't they put it like a shark fin on a guy's head? That would have worked better, right? We should pick a movie like that.
He made me do it.
He does, doesn't he? He does. It's because Rich isn't here. It's because Snake Bite Restucci's not in the house.
Snake Bite. He hasn't escaped from New York yet, so we're just waiting on that. Snake Bite. No, I'm not grumpy. I didn't enjoy this movie.
You just said, "Oh, you liar!" You said you enjoyed all these movies.
Well, I did.
I
did enjoy this movie as much as I wanted to. Does that work?
Yeah, that does.
No. Because I was really hoping it'd be at least like 47 meters.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking, and that's what I was kind of expecting was something like The Shallows, or
right.
But it was what it was. It was different.
Well, I would have never watched it, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
I never would have watched it. Thanks.
Well, I'll tell y'all, I'm that nerd that goes to YouTube and Googles shark attacks. I love it.
That's what we should have done. This whole show was Google shark attacks.
Go on Tubi, type in the word shark. You will get almost every bad Sci-Fi Channel shark movie ever.
Well, I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, it wasn't that good.
It was not that good.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
See, I don't mind a bad movie that's made intentionally as a bad movie. Anything from Sci-Fi Channel, they admit this is like an old cheap-ass 1950s or a Roger Corman movie. This movie pretended to be a good movie.
Right. It did. Didn't we see one a couple weeks ago like that where it was just made bad? Oh, I picked that one. The Jurassic Ranch, or what was that? Raptor Ranch. Yeah, that was horrible.
It's not like I ever picked a bad movie.
I have. Well, Lee Edwards says it was better than the Australian movie called Great White. I haven't seen that. It's a newer one, right? Came out like last year or this year.
Well, next week there's a new shark movie that's coming out like the next Friday, so we're not going to be able to watch it. But
what is it?
For Shark Week. The Reef 2, I think.
Oh, okay. Tony says the house shark from 2017 was really bad. Yeah, sounds like it.
Oh, yeah.
I watched an Australian movie called The Reef. That was a shark attack movie that was supposed to be pretty good. And I won't say that it was. It wasn't bad, but I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah, I it's hard to
I
top.
love Landa,
She
just
likes
like
to
shark
like it.
movies.
Oh, like Scott was saying, if it's made intentionally, like Santa Jaws, that movie, I enjoyed that movie. I mean, the from the cover of the film and the title sounds like crap, but it was fun. It was a fun movie. I really enjoyed that one. Scott did too, I believe.
Oh yeah, I mean it was made to be stupid.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed it for being that.
Yeah. And it
Well,
had some
I will
heart.
say this movie could have been better, and it did not need the ending with the glass bottom boat. That was just stupid.
I wonder how they came up with that.
The ending ruined anything that could have been okay about this.
See, Tony agrees with us. Oh, 2-headed shark, 8-headed shark. Oh, I've only seen up to 5. I'm waiting now.
That's when they had the extra budget to add shark heads to it.
I'm waiting for like 8-headed shark means piranha condor.
Like you said, when you hit Tubi, there's all kinds of shark movies. There's Swamp Shark, Trailer Park Shark. Yeah. I mean,
Sand Shark.
Sand Shark. Now, sand sharks sound cool to me. I'd like to see a land shark movie too, like from the Saturday Night Live skit. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Candygram.
Sure. Oh.
So this is just some Mississippi trivia for y'all. The Ole Miss Rebels were previously the Rebels. That's one of our big football teams here, big colleges, and they are now the Land Sharks.
Oh wow! Okay,
because
that's kind of cool.
They did away with Colonel Rebel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Lee's got one I have to see.
Werewolf. Okay. Well. Oh,
I think that's a person that turns into a whale.
I will say this in response to what Landa's watching Bull Shark. I thought that 47 meters down Uncaged was going to be bull sharks. I didn't know they were going to do the great white thing again. I really didn't know what to expect. Right. And I think it would have been better if they had done bull sharks.
Yeah.
Hadley,
that's a load of bull sharks.
If you like shark movies, have you seen, it's an old documentary, Blue Water, White Death?
Yeah, didn't Spielberg do that one before Jaws?
I don't think he did that one. Maybe he did.
I thought he had something to do with it, or he watched it and that gave him
because I remember my old man loved that. He took me to that, and like when the sharks are digging into the whale beside the whaling ship. Yeah.
I have not. I will watch it. Have y'all seen any? And it's probably a YouTube thing where it'll have the scuba divers that go out and get on the whale carcass. And they're taking pictures of the great whites that are coming and feeding off of it.
No, wow.
There are some people that are.
There's a Darwin Award winners right there.
Yeah.
No,
they got some great photos.
Yeah, I bet.
Hey, I admit,
Jaws coming down.
I would go. I can't swim, but I would go down in one of those shark cages to see the great whites close up.
I would not.
Oh yeah, I would do that. Yeah, I would do that.
Y'all have not seen that footage of the great white that got wedged between the thing and it goes down in and the person's like stuck at the bottom of the shark cage with the shark in it?
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Well, my luck would be it would happen that time I was in the shark cage.
Trust me, if that happened to me, the shark would not want to eat me.
Unless it was a shark with a fetish.
Yeah.
So
German shark.
So okay. So what are we gonna give 47 meters down Uncaged?
I'm gonna give it a 1.75.
Wow. You Scott?
0.7.
Oh.
I'll give it a 2.
That.
I'll give it a 2. I will never watch it again, but
no.
I give it a 2 just because somebody made
I'm going to ask Tina to tell me if you're ever watching TV and it's owned. Let me know.
I don't think Tina would admit to that.
I've gotten trapped with stuff before. So there's movies I said I would never watch that I've gotten trapped watching. Just saying. It happens.
That is true.
Sometimes there's nothing else on.
Oh my gosh. Did you see what Tony wrote?
Bigfoot versus
well, why
megalodon.
didn't we know about that?
Oh man. Now we
Logan
gotta have.
Kraft is not doing his job. Well, he's probably doing his job, and that's why we don't know about it.
We should have a special night and watch Bigfoot versus Megalodon, and then have a
You
show
know,
about
we
that.
can do that if it's on Amazon. There's a way we can do a share screen or a group
Oh,
party
nice.
or something.
Oh, we should do that. That'd be fun. Everybody seem interested in that? If we could ever do something like that, we might not be able to do that one, but something crazy. Two-headed transplant or something.
Yeah.
David Muga says, no thanks. I'll jump off just about anything and climb stuff, but apex predators, especially where I'm not designed to survive the environment, nope. Well, you've lived as long as you have, Dave.
That incredible two-headed transplant is such a funny movie.
I remember watching it when I was a preteen, I think. Yeah, there's two of those movies, right? Two different ones.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a serious one, which is crap. But this one was made to be a comedy, so you don't mind the crappy special effects.
Where was it? Ray Milland's head gets sewn onto Rosie Greer's body or something like
Greer's
that?
body, but every time you see it, you can tell that, Ray Milland is sitting up against Rosie's back with his head up here talking.
And Ray Milland's like a racist, right?
Yeah, he's a racist that gets stuck on his body. Oh, it's funny.
Great.
Are there two of any other things you want to tell me about?
Okay. Well, Scott, let's hit your movie.
All right. I picked Lake Placid. It is a classic. I love it for numerous reasons. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. This movie it's like the perfect B flick. It's funny. It's got great actors doing comedic roles. The special effects are good. And the movie's about this Lake Placid up in Maine. And one night, one of the somebody from not fishing game, but from some university is up there, and he's in the water and he's studying beavers. And something Oh, come on, children. Sorry. We talk about humanoids of the deep. And something grabs him and kills him. And they find the body. Yeah, big beaver. And they find the body. And what eventually happens is, because the death is unusual, they start bringing in the cop who the local sheriff finds him. The local sheriff is played by Brendan Gleeson.
Love Brendan Gleeson.
Sheriff Keogh. He's the funniest part of the movie.
Yeah.
He's a New England redneck, which is our own brand. And they send in, they send in Bill Pullman as Jack Wells from the Department of Fish and Game. And immediately the two of them start butting heads. This is a local matter. No, this is Department of Fish and Games. But as the investigation gets deeper, they wind up sending Bridget Fonda, Kelly Scott, who is from one of the big universities in Washington, D.C. She's a paleontologist. They send her up because her boyfriend is actually having an affair with her best friend. So they decide to get rid of her by sending her on this stupid assignment. And then the last person to join the group, Oliver Platt, playing Hector Sire, one of his best roles.
I think so too.
He is an eccentric paleontologist. For the whole movie, him and the sheriff butt heads. The banter and the bickering back and forth between the two of them is one of my favorite parts of the movie. I'm sure everybody knows what's in Lake Placid. They find out that it is a giant 30-foot alligator. And they find out that one of the reasons the alligator has become so big is because it's being fed by this sweet, nice little old lady, Mrs. Dolores Bickerman, played by Betty White. This movie made her career. She starts the movie. She's sweet. She's old. She's nice. She's lovable. And then by halfway in the movie, she is swearing like a truck driver in New Mexico. I laughed through this whole movie. This movie is fun movie. The special effects are good. They're very good for this type of movie. They're better than a lot of other big budget movies. How they go about trying to deal with it, find it, kill it, or capture it is unique. And the bond of friendship develops between the four of them as they bicker back and forth. It's got a surprise ending followed by a nice ending, and then stay through the credits, because about 4 or 5 minutes into the credits, there's one of those big question mark scenes, like in the 1950 B-grade movies. It's a great movie. Well, I was going to say you could watch it with your kids, but no, not because of Betty White.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, it depends. The kids hear that in school today. I loved it. The reason I picked it was because I wanted everybody to know about it. And I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Miracle on
because
Ice.
I hadn't seen it in a while, and I wanted to watch it again. So, Hadley, what do you think?
I love this movie. It goes up there. I'm following it with Slither as to movies everybody needs to watch.
Yes.
A lot of it was just kind of witty play on the dialogue with the actors. It made me think of Slither, and I really enjoyed it. I forgot how cute Bridget Fonda was. What happened to her? She killed this role. It was just too cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say enough good things about it. I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite movie for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone needs to see it.
Yeah, you have to see it. I really stress. This is one of those must-watch movies that
I've got a fun fact for you, though.
Yes.
The alligator was created by the same guy that made the Alien.
From the first Alien movie?
I think so. Let me make sure if I got my facts straight.
Oh. Who was that? That wasn't Barton, was it? No, he did the thing.
No, it was Stan Winston.
He did Jurassic Park.
Yeah, well, if that explains why it was so good.
Yeah, he's the one behind the dinos in Jurassic Park.
Yep, that's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. What I had something else too that was a good thing. Where was it? Oh, the toe scene is a throwback to the 1980 movie Alligator.
Oh, okay, that's a fun movie right there.
Oh
Alligator.
yeah. I haven't seen that one in ages either.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But no, I think my favorite scene is when they're dangling the cow.
Yeah.
Which they really did, by the way. That was a real cow, and they dangled it with a colic strap or something that they used to transport them with.
Yeah. What's he doing? He's trying to fly. And I mean, there was some great like the scene when Bridget Fonda gets knocked off the boat, when the alligator drags the sheriff away, and she gets knocked off the boat, and as he's trying to come around to get her, you see the fish approaching her, and you know that the big alligator's right behind the fish.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a perfect B movie, I think.
It is.
It really is. Bill Pullman does Bill Pullman. You know, he's doing the same role he does in a lot of movies, and which is great at that time.
But I'll say, I thought him and Bridget Fonda had really good chemistry.
Oh, they did. They did. They really did. Brendan Gleeson, he's Irish, and he did a great role as that sheriff. You know, his accent, everything was great.
Yeah.
Oliver Platt, right on. That's his funnest role I think I've ever seen him in.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of comedy.
I think he's underrated. I really like him.
He is. Well, he's on a Chicago MD or something, Med or something like that. I think nowadays, but it's a fun movie. And it had some genuine scares in it, where you're just like, oh, you know. And Betty White, of course, she knocked it out of the park with this one. You didn't expect that coming from her. Yes,
the ending.
The ending. So there
was a number of like follow-up movies to this.
Oh yeah, it's got some.
At least two that I know of.
Yeah,
I think they're 5 or more.
Oh,
they're not. None of them are good, I believe.
probably
Now,
not.
Well, I mean, the fact that they made one good one is impressive with the alligator movie, but
Yeah.
Well,
I love Mona's comment when she's quoting, "I know karate. You didn't say go."
Yeah,
Those two were my favorite part of the movie. The bickering between them, and then all of a sudden they become like friends, but they won't admit it.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that part.
Yeah.
It really brought those characters to life.
Yeah.
You really liked them. You really cared about who lived and died.
Yeah.
And and it's kind of one of those movies where most of the main characters make it through, and I kind of like that. That was fun.
And you even care for the secondary characters,
Right?
Like the female the female deputy that Oliver Pratt was hitting on.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a fun movie, and I agree with Scott and Hadley. You need to go see this one if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah. I'm sure most people have. It's a cult classic, I believe now.
Yeah.
Because of that. And I don't know, was this a hit when it came out? I know I saw it at the movie theaters.
In my circles, I'm sure it was.
I'm not sure. All I remember about it was it revised Betty White's career. She had been known for so many years as the Golden Girl, the sweet, lovable Golden Girl. And then after this movie with the swearing and the confronting everybody, that's when her career took another skyrocket.
Tony said there's 6 Lake Placid movies.
Well, I think this was probably more like the real Betty White.
Well, did you remember her from the Mary Tyler Moore show?
No, but I've seen her like on old clips of her on Johnny Carson with Joan Rivers, and they were just
salty, right?
They were salty.
Yeah, on the Mary Tyler Moore show, her character was salty too.
Yeah, she was a bit of a hornball.
Yeah. So, but she's hilarious.
Oh, she is.
She made this movie, she really did. I mean, and the other characters, it's just the whole thing. Yeah. The whole thing together was a perfect little ball.
It was. I'm telling you, it's like it is one of those movies that, again, like one of my favorites, Slither. It just works. The whole casting, the dialogue, the delivery. It's one of the best. And I'm not even call it. It's a B movie. It's like a whole nother genre of just funny, bad, but good horror.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Right. We got to do Slither some night. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. Tony says she stole the movie. You're right. Betty White did. She did steal that movie. So, what will we give this movie that we all love?
I'll start. Since I picked it, I give it a straight 5.
Not a crooked one?
I'm going to give it a 5.
I'll give it a 5 too.
Yeah.
3 5s.
Yeah.
It holds up.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Really, it's one you can just pop in and watch, and even if you're not paying attention to it, you'll stop because you know the scene's coming up, and you'll be like, "Okay, I want to see that." So that was a fun movie. Good pick, Scott.
Thank you.
DA Roberts is in the house. Hey, DA.
Hey, DA.
Hey, DA. How you doing?
So I guess we'll do Hemorrhoids from the Deep.
Alan.
From the deep.
Okay, well, let me give the description, then you two can go and lay down your vibe on this. Okay, Humanoids from the Deep is 1980 Roger Corman movie. He produced it. He didn't direct it. And I'm going to tell you this just because of context. The director of this was a feminist, a female and a feminist. Okay?
Really?
Yes.
I have questions.
I'll get into that. Okay. All right. There's a small small northwestern Beaver. Hold on a second. Small town in the Pacific Northwest. There we go. Put together better. They're a fishing town, and they're having problems with their fish. So a company comes in, and they're doing scientific experiments to increase the salmon run. And when they do this, it creates these half man, half giant salmon gillmen. And these guys are angry and horny. they kill. They're like 7 feet tall, I think, or they're supposed to be. So when they get to full size, and I imagine these guys probably don't swim upstream very much, they attack the town, and they rape the women. I'm sorry, can we say that? They assault the women and they kill the men. Allegedly. And that's the gist of the movie. Horny fish. And they fight these things. They figure out how to kill them, and it has an ending, which I'll give away the ending. One of the ladies is impregnated by one of these fishmen, and at the end, in the doctor's office, she's about to give birth, and out pops a fish alien man, just like. And they stole that scene, and they admit it directly from Alien, because this movie came out in '80, so they wanted to add that scene on there where the fish comes out and that's it. Marauding fish, horny fishmen. That's the movie, and it was 1980, and I was 17 when I went and saw this, and it made an impression on me. That's it.
I saw it.
Questions, answers.
I'm going to steal one of the reviews that I saw when I give my assessment.
I've got some background on it too.
It's easily the best film I've ever seen about an evil woman raping sea monster.
Yeah. That's it in a nutshell.
This movie came out in 1980, and it must have come on HBO sometime shortly afterwards, and I must have stayed up past my bedtime and watched it without my parents knowing, because I have an ungodly fear of frogs. Like, seriously, I'm terrified of frogs. Watching this movie, I recognized why.
I
remember calling it to my parents, hemorrhoids from the deep.
I snuck into the movies and saw this because my folks, I mean, they took me to a lot of movies, but came to me wanting to see it by myself or with friends. We had to sneak in. And
it was a rapey movie. I mean, you wouldn't want your kid to see this.
No.
No one would want their kid to see this.
No. I mean, there was a lot of topless scenes in it. And we're not talking about gratuitous. They were filmed extra too. When it was filmed originally, the lady the director of it, she didn't want, any of that sex, anything like that. And Roger Corman's like, or any additional sex scenes. And Roger Corman's like, we're going to film those. And she's like, no, we're not. And so after the movie was done, he added a bunch of the nudity and stuff like that to it. And she wanted her name taken off the credits. And Roger Corman said, oh yeah, we'll do that, but you got to pay for it. He was cheap. He's cheap, and she couldn't afford to do it because she was young and upcoming. So she left it on. And then years ago, she watched it on HBO or something, and she thought it was a fun movie. So I don't know. But Rob Bottin was in this too. He played one of the monsters, Scott. He did. Guy that did the special effects for the thing. And also one of the guys that did the special effects for the creatures and stuff was Chris Wallace. And he did The Fly 2, Gremlins, Enemy Mine, Return of the Jedi, Dragon Slayer, Piranha. Right. So he did a bunch of. So it had some okay effects. The humanoids never looked awesome.
No,
but it wasn't because they weren't good-looking humanoids. It was they needed more slime, or they needed to be shot different. Because the monster suits were not that bad.
No.
Oh, see, no. I thought they were cheesy as hell, and then the way they'd walk.
Well, I'm not going to find fault with that.
They only had 3 suits
you were
too.
Telling the truth.
So when there's the big attack on the village, on the town, they're shot from different angles and stuff. You can tell because they only had 3 suits. So they didn't have a horde of horny fishmen. Oh, hey, Whitney, you came in just in time. My daughter came in just in time to catch this review.
I'm a big fan of 80s horror monster movies, not so much the slashes. I love the 80s. I would put this in one of my top 10. It's not good, The acting is so hollow.
Oh wait, you have Doug McClure, the leading man from the late 70s and 80s.
Yes, Doug McClure, who plays the reluctant hero. Vic Morrow, who plays the town asshole.
Racist, right? He was a racist for a while, and then he turns into, the Native American guy saves him, and he's like their buddies.
Yeah, of course, because it's his redemption scene. And then you've got all the blondes and brunettes who are very well endowed, who, I'm running away. Whoops, they popped out of my bikini. It's just, but the plot itself is not that bad. It's a fun movie. You just ignore the plot holes, ignore the bad acting, ignore the bad suits, ignore the gratuitous TNA.
If you like frogs and full frontal nudity, this is the movie for you.
Well, I like full frontal frogs. They could never make this movie today.
No,
they definitely could not make this movie today. Just the whole subject matter on it.
Well, I thought surely they're not raping these women.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it just looks like it, but no, they really were, as proven by the mutated fish baby thing at the end.
That was big in the early 80s. I think it was Galaxy of Terror when Erin Moran gets raped by a giant millipede.
What?
Oh yeah, you've never seen that? It's got My Favorite Martian, Eddie Albert Jr. It's a Roger Corman movie too.
Sid Haig in that too.
Sid Haig's in it. Yeah, it's.
So what y'all are saying is Roger Corman was not a feminist.
No. I mean, it's Galaxy of Terror is a good movie because they're on a planet where the alien entities attack you through what you fear the most.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a test. It's a test to find out who's like the master or something like that. And at the end, I think Eddie Albert Jr. proves his mettle and becomes the master. And you get to see Erin Moran get killed in it, though.
Yeah. As horrified as I was by the subject matter, I will say it kept me entertained for the length of the film.
Yeah. It's one of those. Now they remade it in the 90s for, I think it was HBO or Cinemax, one of those. They had a Ray Bradbury series, and it's horrible.
Tony, that's a big nope and a hard pass.
It's got Sam Elliott in it, Hadley. Frogs.
Maybe I'll watch. Oh, that's right. Frogs does have Sam Elliott. When I first saw that movie, my father took me. I was about 9-10 years old.
Humanoids of the Deep?
No, Frogs. And I'm like, okay, really? A whole bunch of frogs jumping on you is going to kill you. A few little water snakes running around you was going to kill. I could never understand that movie.
Well, it had the cool poster though, with the big frog on it and the hand sticking out of the mouth of the frog.
And then all the frogs in the movie were normal size.
Yeah, it's an environmental horror movie, right? Basically.
Well, they do say that if you have frogs, that your environment is good because they can't live in a bad environment.
Wasn't good there.
It was no.
Well,
and I was pretty young when I saw it, like you, Scott. So I didn't get the gist of the movie, and I haven't seen it since. Yeah. So I really don't know if it was a good or bad movie. My 9-year-old or 8-year-old self was like, I don't know what's going on. I want to see some frogs.
I don't know. You wanted to see a giant frog eat somebody. That's what I was like. I think it took place in the Louisiana Bayou, didn't it?
It does. You're right, Scott. You're right.
Oh, God.
Florida.
It's close to home. Florida. Great.
Amphibians. I haven't seen amphibians.
No.
For a while there in the 70s, I was like, they did wasp and, killer bees. And
they had all those giant, like the H.G. Wells movies. I mean, books that made into movies like The Food of the Gods with the giant rats and Joan Collins. And I used to eat those movies up because, I was a teenager. I love that kind of crap.
I remember Wilbur.
Is that Willard? Willard.
The
rat.
Oh, I love that. All right, I'm going to admit something I've never admit. At the end of Willard, when the little kid thinks Willard got killed, I cried because I thought Willard had died. I was young at the time. I was 32. I mean, No, I was like about 10 or 11. It was like, I'm sitting there crying. My mother's like, what are you doing? It's like, they killed Willard.
Yeah. Love of Monsters is a good movie.
Yeah.
There's no plural.
Oh, she's correcting herself. I was
Okay,
like,
so we'll have to find that. We'll have to find that one. Yolanda said she watched Frogs for Sam Elliott. Of course you did. That's the only reason to watch that movie.
Season Sam Elliott circa 1990.
There was only one good environmental horror movie from the 70s that I watch over and over. Prophecy.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. I
Giant
must have seen
bear
that
thing.
at an impressionable age.
Yes.
I read the book, and the book was pretty good. So and then the movie came out, and I like that.
Oh, I didn't know it was a book. Chud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
Yes.
Chud was like humanoids from the deep in a big city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a problem. We've got two Tonys. We're going to have MVP Tony and Tony I.
Well, just Tony K and Tony I.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Tony K and Tony I.
Yeah.
Tony.
Like
we need a third one. It could be a group.
It sounds like
Tony,
a coffee bar in New York City. Hey, it's Tony K and Tony I. Yeah. It's Jimmy Bag of Donuts.
The Boogans was what you do now. I know you're a young guy, Tony. So what do you do? Go back and watch all these old movies? Because I remember when the Boogans came out, and I know you can't be.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's one of those. I think it's like a Full Moon or Charles Band movie picture.
Okay.
Like that. One of those. Forget about it. Yeah, Chud was great. I love Chud. It's got the guy from Home Alone, the tall bandit, right? He's like the main guy.
That's right.
Daniel something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the Wonder Years narration, the original Wonder Years. But okay, so what will you give this classic?
Hadley, you first.
2.5.
I'm going to be a little bit more generous. 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 for nostalgia. I won't watch it again. Definitely. Yeah, but I remember when I was a teenager and I thought, wow, this is the coolest movie. I got to see it again. I never did get to see it again after that. But anyway, I don't recommend anybody watching this movie.
Oh, come on, Alan. You made us watch it.
Watch it. It's a when I say it's a classic movie from that genre, I'm not saying it's good like Jaws or that. It's one of those movies everybody has seen. Everybody as a kid watched it. When I was in college, I would turn on HBO late at night when I was studying, and this was one of the movies where I'd put the book down and actually watch it. Daniel Stern.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. And Tony says he watched the Boogans in 81, so he's 8 years old watching it with his old man, with his dad. Well, that's good. See, those are the best things. Or sometimes it's with who you watch it with.
Yeah.
And that brings back nostalgia and memories. I just saw it with some of my dorky brothers, I mean, friends, back then. And so, I just remember some of the scenes. I don't so much anymore.
My old man used to take me to the movies to see these type of movies. And my mother, she'd stay up late at night. And if a horror movie would come on a Saturday night, she'd come and get me and make me watch it so I could take a break from the studying. So,
see, that's cool.
And my mother was a nurse. My mother was so funny. I mean, nothing fazed her in these horror movies.
Right.
But she'd sit there and go, oh, there's not that much blood in the human body. Oh, that's not the color of a spleen.
Yeah, that's fun. Like my dad, I talked him into taking me to see the original Dawn of the Dead because I wasn't old enough to get in to see it. So he took me and my buddy Ron, and he loved it. It turned him on to zombies. He had a good time. My dad had this motto: every movie deserves to be seen at least once. Now, I don't really agree with that. But that was
with some of the ones out today.
No. But that's the thing about movies, and they bring back personal experiences. A lot of
But
them.
let's say, admittedly, there are some movies that are so bad and known for being so bad, we watch them just so we can talk about how bad they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Turkey. What was that? Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Velocipaster.
Awesome. Well, I still think Wolf of Snow Hollow is a great movie, but I'm one of the few that do.
That was before my time. So.
Yeah. You need to watch it, then, Scott. That. You need to watch it. We should. I've never seen that movie, The Room, and everybody says you got to watch it. It's so bad.
The Room.
The Room. It's not a horror movie. It's a bad movie. Anybody out there seen The Room?
Is that the one with the lady who, like, her and the daughter have been kidnapped?
No, it's nothing like that at all. It's this guy. I can't remember this guy's name, but he made this movie, and it's so bad. James Franco made a movie about making that movie. So it's called The Room. Landis said she saw it. So look it up and see if it's something that maybe we want to do, because it's really bad, laughable bad.
We're gonna do bad movies that they made movies about. We have to see Marlon Brando in Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh yeah, that one's bad.
Yeah,
it could have been good too. With those two guys, Val Kilmer and Brando.
Oh my God, Val! I think that killed Val Kilmer's career.
I think you're right.
He's lost his voice. He's got that's what killed his career. Is he lost his voice.
Oh
yeah.
Mike, you're right. Blackula is another greatly underrated movie.
That scared me as a kid too.
Yeah, when the scene when the girl opens, like they open the window and he's standing right there. Oh,
yeah, that was a good scene. No, Tony, it's not from 2019. This one is from. Landis said she saw it. It's from like the late 80s or 90s, or maybe early 2000s. But it's supposed to be like the worst movie, one of the worst movies ever, and that's saying a lot. And it's by this guy, and his name's Mike Walker or something like that. I gotta look it up.
I'm looking it up now. Oh my God, there's like a ton of room movies.
You mean there's a lot of rooms?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the one.
And it's just called The Room.
It's just called The Room.
No. 2003?
Yes. Lee Edwards says Disaster Artist is a James Franco movie, which makes fun of it. So that is the one. This
inept 2003 melodrama has become a Rocky Horror style cult favorite.
That's it right there. We need to watch that and have a show about it. Just check it out. Tell me what you two think. See if Rich is interested.
I just don't know what we can match that with.
Oh, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Like Scott said,
Island of Dr. Moreau.
Just find some really bad movies out there.
At some point, I'm going to go through and make a list of all the movies we've seen and list them on the website.
There you go. Well, should we get into the Meg then? Should we do the Meg?
Well, let's not do it without Rich, because we've done it before with Scott.
And we're approaching 11. I have to take off a little after 11, no later than 11:05.
Okay, this will work perfect then.
Yeah.
So next week, what are we doing?
Jaws. Shark Week is next week.
Now we're watching Jaws 1, 2, 3, Revenge, if I remember.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We have shark movies lined up, right? 2 after that.
Right. I picked 8.
We got Deep Blue Sea. Is that correct?
Right. Yes, Deep Blue Sea.
Sky Sharks.
Sky Sharks.
And then the other one I had listed was Shark versus Whale Wolf.
And I picked Bait.
Bait. Okay. So it's a shark extravaganza next week, folks. I know we talked sharks plenty tonight, but this will be the godfather of all shark movies. And then it's sequels.
It'll probably be a long episode too, because Jaws is Rich Restucci's favorite movie.
It is. It is. So he
Which
needs
I
to
think
be
all of
here.
us love Jaws.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Jaws 3D. Yep. Jaws 3D. Jaws 2. Jaws 4. The Revenge. Yes. We're gonna do all those.
There's only one thing about Jaws that dates it: the mayor's clothes.
Yes, Murray Hamilton was great as.
Oh,
the
he was fantastic in that. I always get the biggest kick that in Jaws too, they reelected him.
Yeah.
Massachusetts politics.
They didn't even learn in Jaws, did they?
No.
Oh, that's gonna be fun next week. So bring your life preservers, your shark repellent,
Shark stories. You want to hear them?
Your
Yep.
chum.
your chum. Bring your chum.
Send
bring
me
your
any
chums.
YouTube shark videos you like to watch.
Be sure to bring a bigger boat.
There you go. I think we're gonna need
Now,
a bigger YouTube.
What do we have lined up for August?
Nothing yet, right?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we have anything yet.
I thought you were working on it.
Well,
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
that's okay. What we're gonna do, well, I did have something, and I don't have it with me right now. Story of my life. But we're gonna do some stuff in August.
Some stuff.
And we'll post it next week. How's that? Does that work?
That works.
We got stuff next month.
We got stuff coming, man. Stuff.
So should
Stuff
I
you'll
start?
like.
Should I start thinking about September?
Yes.
Yep.
Please.
Okay.
Please have stuff for September.
I sent
too.
y'all a list of ideas.
I know.
I
And
said, come on, let's marinate
had
on this stuff.
I said something. I had something, but I forgot in the feed what it was.
She's
But we're
being
gonna have some
mean.
good stuff.
being
Landon says she
mean
loves
and-
stuff. See,
She's
So,
being
there we go.
mean and tough to us.
It's
like
because I drank that lemon juice and it's like acidic on my tonsil.
Oh,
Oh,
why did you
Oh.
drink lemon juice?
Well, I have lemon juice in my water, but I apparently didn't stir it. So I took a sip. I've been dying ever since. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
No, sorry, that sucks. That's horrible.
I like Tony's comment. There's working on it, and then there's Alan working on it.
You've been talking to my kids, Tony. They'll say
Yeah,
the
guys,
same thing.
we've got all kinds of fun stuff coming your way.
We do.
And, be sure to let us know any t-shirt ideas that you have. We're trying to get some stuff coming down. We've got a new t-shirt idea with Snake Bite Restucci,
Yep.
Dick Cannon, and Big Mike. So there should be some fun stuff coming your way.
I was going to say something. Oh, yes. Like and subscribe, please. Please massage that like button. Make it happy, please.
Yes, help
Like and
help
subscribe.
us.
Yes,
Help us be
definitely.
discovered.
And if you have any ideas, put them in the comment sections, and we'll look at them. We do look at them, and we
And-
talk about you guys after the show's over.
And definitely
just-
join our Facebook community where we try and have funny conversations throughout the week.
Yeah, exactly. And you can on our Facebook or our Twitter, if you've got any ideas for movies or for topics, just leave them there.
Yeah.
Oh, and I won't let me drop this is we've got some collaborations with Horror Writers Inc. coming up with Scott's
yeah.
going to be leading a panel discussing the Resident Evil series on Netflix.
Yes, I'm pulling that together now. We're going to be
Then-
doing 3 episodes at a time.
Then after that, starting in August, Alan is doing the same for the Neil Gaiman I can't think. Sandman
Yes.
Netflix.
Yes.
Then a few weeks after that, I don't know how you're setting that up. I'll be doing the one for what is it? I call it Dance with Dragons. That's not it. For the Game of Thrones follow up or prequel, the dragon stuff.
Right.
And then in September, Rich is going to be doing the same for the new Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Amazon Prime show. So y'all let us know what you'd like us to ask, if anything. We're, like I said, we're working with the great people over at Horror Writers Inc. for this. So you should have a bunch of new people to fall in love with and hopefully read their books and see what they have to say.
Yeah.
Tony I had a good idea for October. Pumpkinhead movies, Halloween movies, and if we're going to add that, my favorite Halloween movie, Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. October would be fun because I know we'll have something set up for that.
Yeah.
And that's a great idea, Tony. And Mike Lewis says cult classics. We were thinking about working on some cult classics too. We've been banging that around for a while, and we just have to find the right cult classic movies to.
Well, you know what else it happens in October, right?
Halloween.
Oh, it's our 2-year anniversary, right?
Exactly. Our 2-year anniversary is on Halloween. Because I'm witchy that way.
No. 2 years.
I know.
Terrible twos. But yeah, so if you have any ideas, let us know. And we're open-minded, right?
Yeah.
That's
right.
Reality.
Anything you like to see, let us know.
I mean, we just saw policemen inseminating bikini-clad beachgoers, so we're open to anything just about.
I got to say before we go, my favorite scene in that whole movie was when the guy and the girl are making out in the back of the truck, and all the people are like having their like moment in the parking lot behind the truck, and the guy pops his head out and he gets hit by that other guy. It was so stupid.
I wonder if that was on purpose. It was an accident, you know.
All right, kids.
I've got a movie. I'll pick a movie someday. One-Eyed Monster. Look it up.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I am too.
It's one of those bad movies. It's so bad, it's funny.
I'm scared now.
So,
I'm still scarred. I'm still scarred from Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to do. We might have to do some extra recording so we can get some stuff in stock for the time we take off at Christmas and all.
Right.
So, well, I love you guys every week. It's always a pleasure to be here and see it. The room grows more each week, and I just love it. So, Tony, Mona, Landa, to name a few. Y'all just make it great. Come back.
Thank you, Mike.
We love you guys. If it wasn't for you,
thank you, David. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
I feel like
John
Boy.
Thank you, John Boy.
Hi, John Boy.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee Edwards. I'm trying to see if we missed anybody. We probably did. So we got Mike Lewis, Tony K, Tony I, and
Lee Edwards.
So thank you all.
We say goodbye to Landa.
We always love Landa coming and going. She's awesome.
Mark
and Whitney.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Whitney.
My mother, who's
D.A. Roberts.
D.A. Yep.
My mother, who's watching.
Jennifer Salmons.
Jennifer, thanks for joining us.
And I know there's somebody else.
All the ships at sea. Thank you. But thanks for joining us.
We saw Mike, Laura. Chassie was in here. She was in the house.
Yeah, that's right. Chassie was in. So we had a good
All
crowd.
the love for all the great people. And
thanks for taking your time out. I know time's precious to everybody. And
if you catch us on Anchor or Spotify or wherever you're listening to us, be sure and come by and catch us live. We'd love to have y'all. So until next week, we will see y'all. Stay weird.
Have a good rest of your week.